Darin, what's your thoughts on the old bass fishing? We got the Big Bass Bash coming up. We got these kayak tournaments coming up. I just want to get your expertise, some of your advice on what you'd be doing, different areas of the lake you might be targeting, and why.
Well, this year everything's been late or just not happening. We've basically completely missed the summer bite. I feel we have. The fish never really moved out in their summer pattern. I never thought they did. They pretty well went from June to dead summer, flat stuff, and points. But getting out there suspended didn't happen. But last weekend, was it last weekend? 2 weekends ago, they had that charity tournament out Bucksall. That tournament was won by David McCormick, and I'm sure he was fishing deep. The guys that took second, I'm sure they were fishing shallow. So I really think you can fish however you like to fish right now. If you want to fish out deep, I think you can catch them. If you want to fish shallow, I think you can catch them. If it was me right now and then a Big Bass Bash, the big thing people got to understand, you're just looking for one. If you go out there thinking you want to catch 20 fish a day, you're not going to win. You got to go out there and catch that one. You know, it gets won a lot on swim baits at Lake the Ozarks. Well, people don't fish swim baits a lot for lemons. They fish it for a big fish. So go out and fish for a big fish. So that top water is a tremendous big fish bait. Always has been. A jig is a big fish bait. A big worm's a big fish bait. I mean, spinnerbait's a big fish bait. Now, we're going to have a little water cool off just a little bit for a spinnerbait to really work good. I mean, it'll work now, but I mean, to work good, you need wind. If you get wind, you don't need it to cool off too much. It's cool enough, they'll start biting it.
Sunny day, cloudy day, doesn't matter?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You can just change your blade. You can alternate your blades a little bit, but right now you'd want to fish a big, at least a ½ ounce spinnerbait with big willow leaf blades on it. Bigger blades, and just slow roll it around through them trees. It's pretty easy fishing, and you'll catch a big one. You look for them drop off some little ledges and stuff like that, or just get your jig on and your big worm and fish points. That's a good thing to do. But first couple hours a day, cloudy or sunny. If it's cloudy, I'd probably fish the top water a lot.
We're talking buzz bait, big spook, super spook.
I'd probably fish a big spook and that big plopper. And you know, buzz bait, yeah, I like buzz baits more in the spring than I do now. Now I know Lake the Ozarks, they catch them really good along the docks, but we don't have the docks.
Right.
I think a big spook works better now because the fish that are out there in that deeper water, which they really haven't moved out deep this year. So, but there's still big ones roaming out there. They're out there. The ones that can win are out there, and you just fish it out there amongst some shad. But you can do the same thing. You throw the big square bills. If I went, I'd have a square bill, a jig, a worm, and a spook. I'd have 4 or 5 rods, and that'd be all I have. And I'd always have that spook untied, unhooked, and just dang on over the side. Don't never have it hooked up because you might just need to drop that rod.
I had a couple of Japanese boys a couple of weeks ago, and then I had them again last weekend. And we pulled up on the spot, and I mean, the fish come up. Finally, a school of them come up right there beside us, and one of them had one of them giant California swim baits. And I looked down, I said, as soon as he threw that in there, he just bowed up on him, about a 3-pounder. I mean, it climbed all over that big swim bait.
That's awesome.
You gotta get to them quick. Bass, largemouth aren't like whites. Whites will come up and stay up for a while. Chasing largemouth, they kind of come up and they don't take very much time, and they're back down. And once they go down, they suspend and they get hard to catch. But you take that spook and just have it ready. At the ready and go fishing. But I would concentrate on the main lake. It hasn't cooled off enough for them to move in the back.
I don't think.
Just concentrate on the main lake and fish the points and the flats and the ditches on the main lake, and just go to town and flip as many trees as you can flip. And just always listen for that boom. And then fire that. Just drop your rod. Don't reel it in. Don't take no time. Just drop that rod, grab that other one. Let him have it.
What color jig do you like to throw?
I'm black and blue this time of year. I mean, that's about all I throw. You can, if you get down the lower end, you can throw some more natural colors, some green pumpkin and stuff. But black and blue is going to work about anywhere. I like to throw a swimming jig most of the time on this lake because you're usually fishing shallow, but especially this time of year. And I really won't work the bottom like you would in the spring because you're imitating crawdads more in the spring. Right now you'd be imitating more of a bluegill or a perch, and I'd more yo-yo it through there. I might let it come in contact with the bottom, but not for very long.
Yeah.
I'd more yo-yo it through the trees or swim it.
Interesting. I don't hear, I mean, everyone talks about a jig. I don't hear a lot of people talking about a swim jig on Truman, but you can't be the only one throwing it.
No, there's a lot of people throw it. There's a lot of people throw swim jigs.
They just tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Swim jigs. I mean, you fish them. You know, a lot of people throw chatterbaits. They're a lot like it, but they just don't have the vibration. But swim jig and get you a good action trailer on it. Just go to town, and it's just easier to cast. And you know, if they're wanting to move in like that, if they do want to move in like that, you know, you can take it off your flipping stick and maybe put it on a little bit. Not really a spinnerbait rod, but still stiff rod, but not as stiff as your flipping stick. A lot of times when it's moving like that, they'll hit it like a spinnerbait. Well, you need to let them load up and then hit them.
That's what I was going to ask.
Otherwise, you yank and you'll yank it right out of the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was going to ask, what the bite feels like on that.
Most of the time when you're swimming it, they'll knock it slack.
Okay.
You'll be yo-yoing it through there and your line's tight, and all of a sudden you'll either feel it or you'll just lose your bait completely.
Yeah.
They just come up behind it and grab it, and you're like, nothing there.
Wham!
You need to be reeling real fast until you feel him and then let him have it.
Yeah.
Pencil sharpener?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.